What's up, everybody? Laura Whitmore here with Strategic Test Prep, and in this video today I'm going to talk to you about what I'm pretty confident is going to show up on the October SAT. As many of you guys know, I've been prepping along with you. I'm going in to take this test to get an updated score, shooting for perfect. So that being said, I've been looking at lots and lots of different tests the past couple of weeks. And yeah, so I'm seeing patterns and I just want to share them with you so you guys are super ready to go in there and crush it. All right, so my first prediction about the October SAT is that the conversion chart is going to score a little bit easier than the August. I think the August test was brutal, guys. A lot of my students said the math was super easy and scores they weren't so hot, I guess you could say. I've even talked to some students who didn't prep at all and their scores actually went down. Sometimes the easier the test is, the harder it is to get a higher score because you have no wiggle room to get anything wrong. So the October test every year historically has been a very fair test. And I really anticipate that the scores are going to be higher. So if you took the August and you're retaking in the October, that's some good news for you. I think you really have a shot to go up this time. And yeah, it was a bloodbath in August. I don't even know what else to say. It was a bloodbath. The first thing that I've noticed is that they always ask about X and Y intercepts ever since last year. So expect at least a couple math questions asking for an X intercept or a Y intercept. All you guys have to do is put 0 in for Y if they want the X intercept, or put 0 in for X if they want the Y intercept. A lot of questions come in the form of exponential functions, so just make sure if you put 0 in for X, anything to the 0 power equals 1. Okay, another thing that they've asked about constantly and consistently lately is no solution or infinitely many solution equations. I'm going to put up an example of a no solution equation right now. As you can see, the constants are different, the coefficients are the same. Now I'm going to put up an example of an infinitely many solution right now. As you can see, it's exactly the same on both sides. So that means everything you put in for X is going to work, hence infinitely many solutions. Now, before I get to the next thing, I would love to hear what you guys think is going to be on the test. So go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know what you've been noticing as far as patterns. You know, we're all here to help each other out. And, you know, I'll let you know if I agree with you or not because I couldn't include everything in this video, but yeah, there's definitely some things that I'm not mentioning today that'll probably be on there too. So definitely let me know what you think. Okay, another big question that they've been asking about a ton are scatter plots. So just keep in mind, guys, that when you look at a scatter plot, the line of best fit is the estimated value and the dots around the line are the actual values. So if they want, say, the difference between the actual amount and the estimate, find the dot that they're talking about and then find the line right under it and subtract them or find the gap in between, the difference in between. Mean versus median is another huge concept. So just know that the mean is affected by the outlier. So if I have a neighborhood and then I build a $2 million mansion, which would be amazing in that neighborhood, although I don't think I would do that. I wouldn't want to, flex on people like that. I'd probably go up in a hill somewhere away from everyone. But anyways, if I built my mansion in that neighborhood, the median home price, which is in the middle, it's going to stay the same or roughly the same. But when you add in my home value, then that mean home price is going to skyrocket. So just be aware that they test that a lot, so the outlier affects the mean. Okay, this next one is with writing. I think that the writing section is going to be pretty normal and fair this October. What I mean by that is I think they're going to test the same things that they've always tested consistently. I think they're going to ask you to combine two sentences effectively. Make sure you pick the shortest one for those. I think they're going to ask you to add in a sentence. So make sure that you read the sentence before and the sentence after. And if there's a natural segue where they should go together back to back, don't throw a sentence in between. They're going to ask you to move a sentence. Punctuation rules should be about the same. With a colon, you need to have a complete sentence on the first side. Anything goes on the second side. The only thing that's going to be different, and by the way, guys, I should just mention this. These writing tricks that I'm talking to you about, I have an online course that I've designed. It's self-directed. So if you want to learn more tips and strategies at your own pace, maybe you're prepping for another test after the October, maybe you're a sophomore or a junior and you have plenty of time, or you're a senior that's just going to apply regular admission, then go ahead and sign up for my online course. It's $100 off right now because I hit 1,000 subscribers last week. So I want to say thank you to you guys for that. The stuff that I teach in this online course is the same exact stuff that I teach in my in-person course for a fraction of the price. So I really, really think that you'll like it and you'll get a lot out of it. So anyways, the link is in the description below. That's enough on that. I think that the writing is going to be pretty fair. The only thing that I would look out for is they recently used a semicolon in a different way. So a semicolon can also be used to separate items in a list. So just be wary of that. It's fair game now. It could be tested. The last thing that I want to cover is the reading. I just have this inkling that the Hug Slug is going to be old this time. So it's going to be a double whammy. It's going to be hard. Again, don't read it. Just do the answer seeking strategy. And when you go into the reading section, make sure you have a plan. For instance, I've customized my own plan because I do not like the science passage. A lot of it's very technical. It's over my head. I have a really hard time staying focused. So what I'm going to do when I go in on Saturday is I am not going to read the science section, and I am not going to read the old one and or the Hug Slug. If they're the same, then I won't read that one. So I will link my video right now. You can watch that. It'll show you how to do the answer seeking strategy. I also have another more thorough strategy if you want to read the passages just to make sure you really have a good grasp on those main idea questions. But yeah, there's places where you can look for the main idea questions too in that video I just linked up there. So watch that. That is it, guys. So that's some of my predictions for the October SAT. I hope they help you out a little bit. Make sure that you practice this week. I would say don't do anything on Friday. Just relax, have fun with your friends, give your brain a break. You wouldn't run a marathon the day before you run a marathon. So handle it the same way with the SAT. And best of luck to you guys, and I'll see you again soon.